Hello and welcome back to Villa TV and to Matchday Live. Aston Villa are through to the fifth round of the FA Cup after their 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. My name is Kate Tracy. Alongside me, James Chester. You look suitably freezing.
Very cold.
Very cold. I know these mics are freezing as well, aren't they? Absolutely freezing. But we come back down pitch side for good reason, and the result has warmed us to a large extent, though, hasn't it? Villa through to the fifth round now.
Yeah, the result and I think the performance as a whole. When we spoke before the game, I think we all asked for a quick start, and that's exactly what they gave us. And I think from there, the players seemed to really be enjoying themselves. Certainly, second half for a long spell, it was a really good performance.
That's what we were saying, wasn't it? And I turned around to you after the first goal went in after 57 seconds, Jacob Ramsey's goal, and said they must have been listening into the show because the one thing we asked for was that quick start on the front foot. We know that Spurs haven't been in good form, so to try and almost take advantage of a lack of confidence, and Villa did that and then some.
Yes, certainly. I think when a team's on a bad run as well, I think that's the first thing you want to do. You want to put them under some pressure and ask questions of them. And it couldn't have been a quicker start and a better start for the team.
And we'll talk through that goal. So Morgan Rogers, I mean, he was the key to that because he just ran through players like we know he can do. He's an absolute battering ram. He's almost like the school bully, isn't he, really, on the playground, that players just seem to be deflecting off of him. Playing it off then to Jacob Ramsey in acres of space. And we know that Kinski, he perhaps could have done better in terms of the save. Yeah. But still, though, it was almost as if it was a shock to Spurs that early on in the game.
I think so. I think Morgan's one of the best players to watch in the Premier League at the moment. And to have someone with the ability to carry balls the way he does it, it upsets defences. And the right back was out of position and they took full advantage of that with the ball into JJ. And he struck it well. Probably not where he meant it to go, and I think he'd be pleased that the keeper did him a favour.
It was just ideal, wasn't it? It was a rapid start. Talking about rapid starts, actually, someone who hasn't made a rapid start to the
nice of you to join us.
Lee, good to have you with us. We're going to stick you on that mic.
What result?
Good time. I know, what a result. Through to the fifth round. What do you make of that overall?
Well, I thought the performance was absolutely brilliant. I mean, you always thought it was going to be a tough game, cold night, obviously, and just brilliant. I'm really pleased we got through. I thought we started the game how we should have done. It's great to see Marcus come on, and Asensio looked unbelievable, by the way.
So they looked like they were really enjoying themselves, didn't they?
I tell you what, I think we've got a player on our hands there with him, but really great performance. Disappointing to concede, obviously. I mean, you must feel that way from a defender's point of view, but
yeah, I'd say so. But I think the result in the
cup's
the most important. Had it come a little bit early, it might have been tricky 5 or 10 minutes, but. Yeah, I think the performance overall certainly deserves the result that we got.
Yeah, I just thought we sort of dominated the game for a long period. I mean, first half it could have been
any amount,
3, 4, 5 even, and that's when I started to think you don't go and get that second goal. Is it going to be one of them games? But you know, we dug deep and manager made the changes, and we just looked really strong, I thought.
And we were just talking about that, about the strong start, and the thing that we were asking for on the show before the game started, that we wanted that quick start. We wanted Villa on the front foot to take advantage of a lack of Spurs confidence at present. They did so. We were just saying there that Kinski probably could have done better with that. The fact he got a glove to it, but it still went through. However, he kept them in the game. It could have been 3 or 4 had it not been for a fair few of his saves.
Yeah, well, as I said, I think, you know, for all the good bits of play we had end product, didn't we? And we 4 saves, which I thought Kinski, I mean, he's been excellent for them since he's come in, and like you said, you know, he's had to do a real big job today to keep the scoreline down. I felt because it could have easily
could have been a lot more, wasn't it?
A lot more.
Waiting for his saves.
But like I say, the most important thing, we're in the hat, and we had a fantastic performance here.
Yeah, and I guess we've got to acknowledge the one bum note really then for today's game was, of course, Ezri Konsa picking up that injury. But when you think about it, the fact that Bogard had to come on, and we've got a makeshift defence at the best of times, where Konsa's our only kind of established centre-back that we're able to play in this competition, who is currently fit. Now, obviously, he went off, but the makeshift defence, they did a great job there.
I thought so. You know, I was upstairs speaking to a lot of the old boys, and they were saying, you know, he's not really a centre-half, really, anyway, Bogard isn't. But, you know, we've got Kamara back there, who was excellent again, I felt today. You know, I mean, you know, he's dropping into a position that I wouldn't say he's not comfortable in doing, because he does do that from a defensive-minded midfield player. But Bogard coming on and really having to fill the boots and not having the experience, you know yourself, you know, not having someone there that can guide him and give him a little bit of a bit of nous. But I thought, you know, the two of them were very, very good in the end, particularly coming up against a real tough, strong forward line, what Spurs have. So great to see that we've got that. But I just hope Ezra is, you know, he's okay, and it was just a precaution that he came off from.
Yeah, and another player in defence I want to talk about, Andres Garcia. He's been thrown into the deep end. He's come from the second league in Spain, from Levante. He's been thrown some pretty tough tasks early on in his career at Villa, hasn't he? I thought he did brilliantly today.
Yeah, I thought he was really impressive today. That's the first time I've watched him properly. I can't imagine him coming over. He thought he'd be playing so quickly, but he seems to have settled in really well, and his performance today was really impressive.
There was one moment where he was dispossessed at one point, yet the resilience he showed and just to manage to get it back, he was terrier-like in that. You know, he's obviously trying to prove himself enough, isn't he, then, to the management? But I just love the attitude that he showed. Yeah,
but I think, you know, I think we said to him at the start of the show, is that Unai, you know, he hands the shirt to players because he feels that they deserve the opportunity. I know that obviously Matty Cash is not available at the moment, but this is his opportunity to go and shine. And I felt at Wolves at times, I think that was a big game for him to come into. It's a derby game at the best of times.
Place to go, isn't it?
Of course it is. And then you know you have to come in and new foundations, new players, new surroundings. You know, you have to find your feet a little bit. But I thought today, you know, he found his home. You know, the fans got behind him and helped him out, and I like the fact that he got forward and joined in and helped Leon at times where, you know, he didn't really give him the ball. That a couple of times where he's made them overlapping runs. But listen, I think we've got a very good player on our hands, and Unai wouldn't have brought him into the club if he didn't think so himself.
It was good to see that right-hand side looking strong again, and Leon Bailey looking really sharp early on as well. So that was great to see. But we put it off for long enough now. The subs coming on, though. Marco Asensio and Marcus Rashford. When else can you bring on a 3-time Champions League winner, a 2 times FA Cup winner off the bench? But we expected them to get a round of applause. They did that. Villa Park gave them the welcome we really wanted to see.
Yeah, I'm sure they fully appreciated that welcome as well. And just have that quality at this club now to bring off the bench is amazing, really. And yeah, I think to watch Asensio live was
magic.
Was enjoyable. But I think for Marcus to see, the first header he got up and won and left one on the centre half. He looked hungry and looked like he was ready to get his career started again.
That was it, wasn't it? It was the hunger of Rashford straight away, and understandably so. He'd want to make an impression straight away on this crowd, on Unai Emery as well. He definitely did that. He was getting stuck in from the offset.
Yeah, I thought that both of them when they came on. I think, you know, it's always tough, isn't it? You know, you come to a football club, and I think there's always an expectation level because you're such a big quality player. You know, Rashford and Asensio are literally world-class players. And then to come into the fold and do what they did, I mean, I think Marcus may need a couple of weeks before he gets that little bit of match fitness, but you can see bits of quality that when he runs at players, he scares people.
Yeah.
And Senzio, I mean, unbelievable. He looked like he's been playing week in, week out. I mean, his sharpness, his awareness, his ability, and that's what I think maybe that we've probably been missing a little bit, you know, that little bit of craft. I know that we depend on Morgan quite a lot because he's so good driving the ball, but having them little bits of quality passes that are just out of nothing.
They linked up together really well, didn't they? And
they did.
The chance that Morgan had.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
And that would have been some goal, that would, wouldn't it?
I said that to you, didn't I? Twice I said that deserved a goal. That deserved a goal. The link-up play between them. And they looked as if they've been playing together for however many seasons. They were just reading each other's minds of exactly where to be. And they were so sharp. It deserved more goals than they got.
Yeah, well,
they had a couple of moves, didn't they? The one from Emmy started as well into Rashford, who played around the corner, and I think JJ went through and the keeper made a good save. But yeah, I think it's exciting times to come, really, certainly with the attacking options that the club has now. I think for me, I just think that there's obviously been a bounce factor of bringing these players into the football club. You know, I think, you know, you've been in change rooms. It brings new life
into
the place, yeah.
I mean, you see Marcus Rashford walking through the door, and you automatically think, you know, where are we going as a football club? We're going up. We are literally taking platforms where we're stepping forward. And I think, you know, in Cesio, you're looking at players that are absolutely top draw. And then you've got to try and be on that same wavelength and be on the same. And to be fair, just 2 signings I felt that came on made an impact, and you could see already that we've got quality players here. You know, to play with Morgan Rogers, to play with Jacob Ramsey. Listen, I bet they're relishing the facts of it. You know, we've got a very, very good squad of players. We just need to get everyone fit defensively. That's my only concern.
Yeah, especially then with Disasi, who's not able, obviously, to play today because of being cup tied. He's not able to play against Chelsea in a couple of weeks' time. So hopefully Ipswich, he will get his chance now with Ezri Konsa being out as well. And that is more than likely. But it is exciting times at present. It's the whole buzz about the place. And we said about competition previously, and we've said this about Leon Bailey as well, when Diaby was here, that it seemed to raise him to another level because he had the competition. He was fantastic today. Jacob Ramsey, we know he was finding his form anyway, but the fact that he's competition, he started so brightly as well. So that healthy competition was there for everyone to see out on the pitch.
Yeah, I think both wide men certainly started the game really well. Yeah, like you said, the competition, if you're not going to perform well when you get your chance, you're not going to play again for a long time. So when you do get that opportunity, it's vital you take it, and I thought they were both really impressive today.
So much so. Okay, on Spurs, where do Spurs go from here now? They're out of another competition. They were knocked out of the Carabao Cup by an absolute hammering from Liverpool on Thursday night. Quick turnaround for them, admittedly. They're missing a lot of key men as well. But what did you make of them overall?
Do you know what? I actually, watching the game and obviously looking at both sides of the fence, really, I actually felt that as the game went on, it reminded me a bit of the Liverpool game, that they stepped off Villa and, you know, they stopped pressing, they stopped that work ethic that maybe you feel that the game's lost. I know that they scored late on, but, you know, they were sort of, it was almost like a hiding to nothing, that they could throw bodies forward. But I do feel for Ange, I really do, because I think when you haven't got your key players in your squad, you know, Unai will go through it and has gone through it, but, you know, the likes of Madison, Solanke that they bought in for a lot of money, Brennan Johnson, you're talking about very, very big players. So they have to have that fact of realising that that's where they're at the moment. And when you haven't got them players, it's like I said, we talk about having new players coming in at our football club. It gives that factor that you've got your big players back, doesn't it? And you know that from yourself, from being in change rooms.
And here he is. Here's Morgan Rogers yet again joining us. You're getting roped into these all the time, aren't you? Thanks so much. After the podcast,
because he's smashing it.
I tell you what, this is 100% strike rate for our podcast now. After scoring yet again after that. Again, I feel like it's everything that I said to you the last time, the first question, talking about the bright start to the game. Yet again, 57 seconds then, and you teed that up perfectly for JJ for that first goal. So how was it from your point of view?
Yeah, kind of this week, the manager kind of hit a reset button in terms of new players, and now it's from now to the end of the season, that last big push kind of thing. And that started with today, and that start, and I thought we were outstanding, especially in the first half. We took it to them, the intensity, the aggression, everything about the way we were was really good. Probably could have done with another goal, but in terms of that energy and stuff, I think was really good, and it really set us on the right foot and got the crowd involved as well, and that's the most important thing when we're here. So yeah, I thought we started really well.
And how is the whole buzz around the place at present? Because it felt, you just said about the crowd there, it felt like it from our point of view, didn't it? Like there's just a whole feel and excitement about the place. Has that resonated with you?
Yeah, 100%. Especially I think it helps with the quality of signings we brought in as well this week, and they've given everyone a massive lift as well, just the calibre and the quality they possess, and the levels we're trying to reach to and hit, and I think that's massive for us and where we want to go. And the squad now is looking really strong. Hopefully we can get obviously a few of the injured players back.
Does that give you a buzz? Like, I mean, obviously seeing the players come on. I mean, like we was touching on Marcus Rashford, and then
100%. For me, I'm a football fan, and I was watching these longer going finals in Champions Leagues when I was playing in League One and stuff. So for me, it's massive playing with them and seeing them every day. Other people might be a bit different, but someone that's a football fan like me, yeah, it's massive to play with players like that and just to pick up what I can and doing 1-2 with Asensio at the end. Like I would never imagine that a year ago, players like that. So yeah, for me, it's a massive buzz. This week has just been that bit different, and yeah, we're looking forward to this game, and we wanted to put a performance, and we did.
And we're going to let you go back into the warm in just a moment, because we keep dragging you out into the cold here, and we appreciate it so much. But of course, now through to the 5th round, the draw is tomorrow.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to hopefully going on a bit of a cup run now? Have you got the confidence to do so?
Yeah, 100%. That's what we want to do. We're in the competition to win it. We believe we're good enough to win it. We believe on our day we can beat anyone. So the draw doesn't necessarily matter to us. We'll take it as it comes and try and win the game. But yeah, why not? Why can't we go on there? We compete with the biggest teams in the country, so we've got to go and do it again. It's one-off games, anything can happen. So yeah, we're setting out to win it for sure.
2 Premier League rivals down in the FA Cup in the last 2
Yeah.
games, so it can be absolutely anyone.
Yeah.
Right, Morgan, we will let you go, but thank you so much as always. We'll let you go and get back into the warm, but thank you as ever then to Morgan Roy. He's so good to us with his time. He really is.
He could have done that though, couldn't he? 'Cause
He could have done it. It is June. Exactly. And it's his celebration. It's not Cole Palmer's. Cole Palmer stole it off him, and we are going to continue to bang that drum as well. But he's so great, though, isn't he, James? And just everything he brings to this club. He's so exciting as a footballer. He's almost so genuine, because the amount of times even today he could have gone down because of fouls, but he didn't. He continued just to power on, and he's just so impressive.
Very impressive. That's the first time I've met him and
he's
speaking, and he talks impressively as well. Yeah, I think everything about him as a footballer at the moment is really good to watch. Like I said earlier, to have someone who can carry the ball like that, I think his size and his strength obviously it helps with that, but it's difficult to defend against, and he brings other players into play, like we've seen with the first goal today.
Yeah, and he was so key to that first goal as well, though. I know that JJ had to finish it, obviously, but it was Morgan Rogers that created that really almost just made Spurs fall back into their shell straight away. And then for him to get his deserved goal as well. I mean, he could have got another one, the side netting there after it was beautifully teed up, but even so. But even then, you're watching throughout the game, and if it was an ever so slightly misplaced pass, you see he was kicking himself out there, so he strives for perfection.
Of course he does, and I think top players, they do that, don't they? You know, they want the best out of their game. You know, we all wanted to do that. We always wanted to make sure that we didn't put a foot wrong, and I think that's the thing with Morgan. I think we've got such a massive player on our hands that, you know, Unai's seen so much quality in him, obviously at Borough, and that's why they brought him to the football club. And you watch him, and you just touched on his physical strength, his attributes. He doesn't want to go down. He wants to keep doing stuff. He wants to keep driving forward. And sky's the limit for this young man, by the way. I mean, you know, they talk about Jude Bellingham. This boy is not far away from him, by the way. And I tell you what, once he gets into the England setup, it's a different scenario. And as we've just said, he's so level-headed. He's got his, you know, he's not one of these lads who's got his head in the clouds. He wants to make himself be the best player, and I'll tell you, I don't think he's far away from doing that.
I love that completely, because he's been compared to Musiala, Ronaldo. He's been compared to all sorts of top-notch players, and understandably so. But his own goal, though, we saw a bit of brilliance between, it was Marlon and Bailey, wasn't it, with the 1-2 between those two. And then Morgan found himself in the ideal position, which, again, considering he's kind of used to playing that number 10 role, he still manages to find himself in the ideal position to just slot one home.
I wouldn't minded a few of them myself.
Time.
But I think just watching him, his mentality seems to be that of the best players that I've played with. Nothing seems to affect him. A mistake doesn't seem to affect him. He just continually wants to get the ball and do the things that he sees right. And I think that's huge for footballers to have that belief and confidence in yourself. And it obviously shows in how he plays the game.
Yeah. Right, we're through to the next round. Going into that, apparently it's been shown on the One Show, the draw tomorrow, which is new anyway.
That'd
So
be
we're going to go.
I watched the One Show.
I know. Well, I'm sure you're a One Show regular anyway, so you naturally would have been watching regardless. But so we're going to go into the hat then for that. What are you hoping to see? Is there any tie you really want to see, or does it not matter for you?
Listen, you want a side. I mean, no disrespect, but you want a Plymouth at home, really, don't you? You know, with that big scalp today, is quite unbelievable. But that's what you want. So you're getting into them latter stages where, you know, certain teams might not get into the hat for the next stage. But I'm not saying it's going to be a given, but you want one of the lower tier clubs, and then, you know, before you know it, you are going to come up against your Premier League rivals. So anyone that's lower down from us, you know, it'd give us an opportunity of getting through. But as Morgan says, you know, they feel they can beat anyone, and I totally agree with him. Yeah,
we can beat anyone. But like say, I mean, the FA Cup is made for the upsets, but so far not for Villa. 2 Premier League teams they've managed to claim in the last 2 rounds there, so could beat anyone at this stage.
Yeah, of course they can. Like Morgan just said, the squad that they have and the belief they have at the moment, they feel like they can beat anyone. And I think certainly playing here is a huge help. Like Lee said earlier before the game, the atmosphere here has always been great, but at the moment it feels there's more of a belief coming from the fans that they believe they're going to go into games and and beat the best that come here. So I think anything here will be a big positive.
Yeah, if we can manage to get a home tie, this place has just become a fortress, hasn't it? And the unbeaten run continues at Villa Park as well. Right, lads, you are absolutely freezing. I'm freezing.
You've warmed up, haven't you?
Not one bit, not one bit. I don't know how I'm still standing, to be honest with you. But lads, thank you so much for coming back and braving the cold again then for this show. So thanks so much for all of your efforts today. Thank you so much for watching. All there is left for me to say is good night and up the Villa.